The Ballad of Jack and Rose, Daniel Day-Lewis, of course, was on the show quite recently. So this is him.
And a lot of people thought he was sort of on something. I just think he doesn't do lots of interviews.
Well, funnily enough, he has done a few interviews for this. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a personal project for him, but he's clearly not. He doesn't enjoy doing interviews, and he seems to lack a sense of humour about it, which I think is more indicative of the fact that he's just uncomfortable. I mean, I saw another interview with him in which he was asked about the incident with the walking off when he was doing Hamlet and suddenly being confronted by what he thought was a ghost of his past, and this was sort of put forward to him as a ludicrous moment, and he tried his hardest to explain it, but he did end up sounding like a terrible old lovey because it's just simply because clearly that's not his forte. The story here, as you covered in some detail when you were doing the interview, is that he is the father of a girl with whom he has an implied, but it is only implied, incestuous relationship. He has lived on this commune. The commune has fallen apart. He has brought up the daughter on his own. He is now the last of the people in this commune. He is terminally ill, which we know from the beginning, so I'm not giving anything away. The commune is about to be threatened by the arrival of a whole bunch of new developed houses which are about to be built on wetlands, and he decides that the only way to save the situation is to get somebody else into his house to look after his daughter after he is gone. The somebody else played by the always impressive Catherine Keener. It's difficult. It's one of those films which you can feel the earnestness, you can feel the amount of investment in it. You think its heart is in the right place. It looks very, very oodly-noodly 70s independent.
What does oodly-noodly mean?
It means basically what it doesn't have is an editor standing behind it saying, you know what you need here is you need an exploding helicopter and you need Stan Collymore driving a Porsche through it at 150 miles an hour because otherwise the audience are going to get bored. It's one of those indie films which just ambles and rambles and shambles and ponders and, bumbles and wombles around and then sort of stops and then sort of picks up again and then Beau Bridges comes on and then he goes away and then it all ends up in, kind of inevitable semi-tragic conclusion. Now, this is not to say that it's terrible. It would actually be easy, and I have, been slightly flippant about it, but it's trying very hard. It doesn't have much humour in it, and I think that's always a problem. I tend to have a problem with films that don't have any sense of their own ridiculousness, if there is some ridiculousness to have a sense of. And I think in this case, it could have just taken itself a little less seriously.